What's up, team? JJ here, and I'm excited to talk with you today in this podcast episode about how to handle feeling behind in life. So if you're a high achiever, you're a driven person, you're ambitious, you've got big dreams and goals and things you want to accomplish and do and create and contribute in the world, it's very possible, maybe even highly likely, that you either right now, or very likely right now, if you're listening to this one, if you clicked play on this episode, or at some point have, or at some point will feel behind of where you believe you should be in your life. And so I find that very often people that do dream big and have big goals, they find themselves feeling like, well, I'm behind, because what they're doing is they're looking at social media and they look at certain other people and they're like, wow, well, that person's done so much by my age or younger than me. They've accomplished so much. Why am I not further ahead? And what the easy answer here, and I've got a more robust, profound answer for you in the rest of this episode, but the easy answer is to say, well, they're just lucky, or you can even criticize yourself and say, maybe I'm actually not good enough, or anything that might beat yourself up. But I actually don't think that's helpful. It's not effective, and it won't put you in the best possible position to make the impact that you are here to make, that you've been created for in your life. Right now, it just might not be your season. I'll talk more about that here in a moment. But the reason, if you caught it at the beginning, this is going to sound really trivial, but I got to share it with you. If you're willing to give your feedback, I'd love to hear it. I started the episode with "What's up, team?" and I want to tell you why. So this might sound really trivial, but I've been in my mind like, well, how do I start the podcast? Like, for whatever reason, I just care a lot about, like, what do I say? What are the first words out of my mouth? Do I just get into it? Do I just start with the question, with the hook, with the problem statement? Do I say, what's up, everybody? Do I say, hey, it's JJ Peller, it's blah, blah, blah? Like, what is the thing that I say? So I've listened to lots of different podcasts, lots of people I admire and follow, and tried to model what they do. But just now, before I hit record on this, for some reason, it came to my mind, this phrase, what's up, team? And here's why it matters. Here's why it's important. So I've taken a break from going to the gym since we just welcomed our newest child into the world. So I haven't been there in a couple of months. Hate to say that. But probably towards the end of 2024, there was a moment that I came into the gym one morning and Coach Mark said something to me about how I always come in and I say, what's up, team? Like every time I come into the gym to see everyone. And he's like, well, that speaks a lot to just who you are and your personality. And what he was really saying is like, I view, at least this is my interpretation, I think my interpretation based on what he said, which is I view the people around me that I work out with and that I do life with or that I am on a team with literally as my team. And I've written about it in my book, Attract Your Potential, which is you've got to have great people on your team, whether they're literally on your team at work or they're your family or they're your friends. Like, consider the people on your journey of life your team. And so I consider you, all of this to say, I consider you part of my team. And I want to speak to you in these podcast episodes like you are on my team, because you are. If you are listening to my voice right now and you're consuming this message, we are on a team together. And so I want to talk to you as if we're teammates, and I want to just help encourage you and inspire you, give you some thoughts and perspectives from my experience, from my journey, and what I'm thinking about as I'm doing the things that I'm doing that hopefully encourage, uplift, inspire you, and give you different ideas and perspectives, and hopefully wisdom along the way to help you tap into your greatest potential and be your very best. So that might be a long-winded answer, but I think and it might initially sound trivial, but it literally just hit me. Like, I keep thinking about, like, it never felt right. Like, is it what's up, everybody? Is it hey, everyone? Do I say my name? Do I not? But what's up, team just feels so authentic to me, because I believe that if we're in this conversation right now and you're hearing my voice, I know you're on my team. And that's how I think about you. When I'm making content, whether it's this podcast or videos or other contents, like, I believe I'm sharing a message with a teammate. Now, you might not literally be on my team at the same exact company, employed at the same place, but I view you as a teammate because we're on this journey together. We are both trying to figure out how to become the very best version of ourselves and thrive in life and achieve our greatest potential. At least I'm guessing that's your reason. But anyways, I'm about to get into the content of this actual episode, but if you'd be willing to connect with me or find me on Instagram at JJ Peller or LinkedIn, JJ Peller, I'd love to hear from you directly. Send me a message and let me know your thoughts on this concept of what's up, team, and your thoughts on the idea of us being on a team as I'm sharing these messages, how it feels. If you've got other thoughts or you disagree with completely what I said, I'd love to hear your thoughts and 2 cents. So find me on Instagram at JJ Peller or LinkedIn, connect with me, JJ Peller, and look forward to being connected with you there and getting your thoughts and feedback on everything that I just said or anything else that you want to share with me as you listen to this podcast and others. So let's get into it, because if you're ambitious, driven, high achiever, and you feel behind, there's a few things I really would encourage you to think about that I've thought about in my life that have been super duper helpful. So I just want to pass those along for you in hopes that it helps you as well. So one thing that I think we've got to realize is, I think it's core belief. Like, what's the reason God has me here in this waiting place? What's the reason God is not catapulting me? Because God can catapult you. What's the reason God's not opening a particular door? What's the reason He has me right here, right now? And we've got to reflect on it. Because if you genuinely believe that your life has purpose and you were made and created for a reason, which I believe you have been, I believe all of us have been created for a purpose with reason, then we've got to ask the question, what is the purpose? What's the reason for this place in particular? And what I found over the years is that there is always value in what I'll call the waiting place. The waiting place. One of my favorite books, it's a Dr. Seuss book. It's called Oh, the Places You'll Go. And if you've read it, it's about, it just kind of goes through this roller coaster of the ups and downs and trials and tribulations of the character in the book, obviously talking to you as you're reading it, or to the person that the book's being read to if it's a child. And they get to this place where the character is in the waiting place. And the waiting place is just like all these people waiting for the fish to fry, waiting for the train to go, the bus to, all these things. I forget what all it is, like waiting for all the things to happen. And it says, no, that's not for you. And then it goes on to talk about the next up before it gets to the next down situation. But the waiting place is a part of the journey. The waiting place is a place that the most ambitious, driven humans on the face of the planet find themselves in at times, and very likely more than one time. And so you've got to ask yourself the question, what's the reason God has me here right now? And something I came across, I was listening to a podcast about the Bible. Gosh, I totally forget what the name of the podcast is. Otherwise, I would totally give them credit. The Bible Project, actually, I think is what it is. The Bible Project. I was listening to that in the middle of 2024. I kind of got away from it a little bit, but they drew my attention to Deuteronomy 8. And I believe that this is a really fascinating chapter, Deuteronomy 8. I'd highly encourage you to read it, but I'll give you the gist of it. It's basically, Moses is, my understanding is, and I'm certainly no biblical genius or theologian, but basically the gist of it is, Moses is giving a message to the people who have just gone through the wilderness for 40 years, and he says, remember how the Lord your God led you all the way into the wilderness these 40 years to, listen to me, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep His commands. He humbled you, causing you to hunger. Then He fed you with manna, which neither you nor your ancestors had known, to teach you that man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. And there's so much more to this, but the reason I'm highlighting this is to say, in a season where you feel like you are in a waiting place, or you feel like you are behind, which I would also consider the waiting place, you're waiting to go to your next level, there are so many things to be learned. And in fact, it's very often a testing period. It's a point in time, it's a season of life where you are going through trials and tribulations to find out your truth of who you are. What will you do? How will you act? How will you show up? Will you be filled with resentment? Will you be angry with God? Will you be mad at the people around you? Will you be frustrated with your boss or your significant other, your kids? Will you start blaming the economy and the president and the whoever? Will you start pointing fingers at everybody else? Or will you look inside of yourself and say, right now is my testing period. Right now is my time to develop my character, to improve my skills and my mindset so that I can ultimately get where I'm meant to be. You see, I think if we're always constantly seeing the progress and improvement that we want, there's no time and ability to develop a character trait that is vital for those of us that want to do big things in this world. And that character trait is patience. Patience. As they say, patience is a virtue. And they say that for a reason. Because the people that understand that sometimes you have to go slow or be completely stopped or go in reverse to get where you want to go, those people can be comfortable with the waiting place. Not comfortable in the sense that they do nothing. They sit on the couch and they eat Doritos or Cheetos, but comfortable in the sense that they know right now, even if I'm not making the progress I want to make, I can develop myself. I can develop my mindset. I can develop the patience. As someone that I love to follow and pay attention to, Gary Vaynerchuk, says all the time, micro speed, macro patience, meaning on a day-to-day, weekly basis, you got to be getting after it. You got to do the work. You got to keep chipping away. But on a macro level, you got to understand great things take time. And to allude to another great entrepreneur that I've been studying for a significant amount of time, Alex Hormozy, he says, he's got an entire podcast that says, win slow. And when you expand your mindset to not think about winning in the next week or the next month or even in the next 12 months, and you expand it to a decade or 2 decades or 4 decades, you start to zoom out and realize that right now is a microcosm moment of the grander picture of your life in the next decade or 2. And as Tony Robbins often says, people overestimate what they can do in a day, and they dramatically underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade or 2 or 3. So why am I telling you all this? If you feel like you're behind in life, because right now, you're exactly where you're meant to be. And if you believe this and you can use this time to sharpen your skills, to develop your mindset, and to strengthen your character traits that need strengthened so you can be the person you need to be. So when the time comes that a door opens or a person comes to you and a connection is made, you can take advantage of it. And you can be the person you must be to take full advantage of that opportunity or that new relationship or the door that was open. You can break through it and succeed on the other side. You see, far too many people think they should be further ahead because they think they have the skills that they actually don't. And this, my friend, is exactly why so many people who come into tremendous wealth quickly overnight, like professional athletes, sometimes even actors, go from completely broke and poor to get in a movie where they make $20, $50 million. Or someone wins the lottery. These people often don't keep the wealth. And the question you have to ask yourself, and this is not a financial commentary, this is simply an educational sample example of a way to think about success, which is, if you were given $100 million today, could you keep it? If you were given $1 billion today, could you keep it? If you were given all the success you ever dreamed of today, could you keep it? And friend, this is not a knock on you, what I'm about to say. This is just the truth of human reality. I doubt it. I highly doubt that if you were given all the success you dream of right now, in this moment, the snap of your fingers, that you'd hang on to it. Because if you're in a waiting place or you feel behind in life or on your goals, there's a reason. If you're doing the work, if you're chipping away, if you're reading the books, if you're making the outreaches, if you're taking action consistently to work on you, to develop your skills and your mindset, then there's a reason that you're not yet where you want to be. And very often that reason is you got to go through the testing period. You got to pass the persistence test. The 8th step towards riches, according to Napoleon Hill in his book, Think and Grow Rich, which is one of my favorite chapters of that entire book, is persistence. Persistence is the 8th step toward riches in that book, and it's one of the most important. It's one that the most successful people on the face of the planet talk about all the time. You got to be willing to persist even when you're not where you feel you, quote unquote, should be by now. Like if you're in your mid-30s and you're like, man, I feel like I should be worth hundreds of millions, or I should have this huge business, or you're in your 50s and you're like, man, I should be way closer to retirement, or I should have accomplished more. I don't care what age you are. If you're right out of college, like, well, I didn't get the big job that all my other friends got. There's a reason. You're on a journey that's meant for you, that God has planned out for your life. Now, do you have choice? Do you have the free will to make decisions in your life? Absolutely, 100%. And I believe God also will put us exactly where He wants us or needs us in order to help us get to where we are meant to go. And if you're doing all the right stuff, you're making the effort, you're doing the work, you're believing big, you got a great attitude, and you're chipping away, and yet you feel like the wall just has not fallen down yet, you haven't cracked the code, you got to persist. You got to keep going. So as Napoleon Hill says in his book, especially in that chapter on persistence, they're very often, or the most successful people on the face of the planet, are greeted at times by a guide, a hidden guide, that requires you to pass the persistence test, that will hold you back, that will try to knock you down, that will try to make you fail, that will try to discourage you, because you've got to be able to keep going even in the face of discouragement and struggle and challenge and mistakes and mess ups and falters and false starts. You got to just keep freaking going, friend. And my encouragement to you as someone on my team that I believe in, that I know can do big things with your life, is just keep going. And remember that you're in a season right now where you feel behind. This season is meant to develop you. It's meant to refine you. It's meant to help you develop the character traits and skills you need. Because if you can't capitalize on the moment you're in right now, in the season of life you're in right now, you will not be prepared for the major success that you truly desire and frankly will deserve if you're willing to persist and do the work over an extended period of time, even when you feel behind. So friend, I hope this message today served you, and I hope you feel encouraged and inspired and reminded to keep the vision alive, to keep dreaming big, to keep those goals in front of you. Don't shrink your goals just because you feel you're behind. Just keep tripping. Woo, don't do that. Or do, whatever, your choice. Just keep chipping away towards your greatest potential and know that eventually breakthrough will happen. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Come back for more. I'd love to keep you encouraged and inspired on your journey to tap into your greatest potential, to be your very best. And if you really enjoyed this message and you believe that one of your teammates, whether actual teammate through work or a friend or family member, could benefit from this message, please consider hitting that share button right now and send it to somebody that needs this encouragement today. And friend, whatever you are going after, refuse to settle for anything less than your greatest potential. Just keep freaking going, and great things will happen. I look forward to talking with you next time, friend. Be your best. See you next time.